Hi there, I'm Dale Mathis, and in today's Play Accordion by Ear lesson, it's the Star Spangled Banner, and it is definitely a much more difficult piece of music to work on because the left hand is more difficult. So I really encourage you to go to dalemathisaccordion.com and download the piece of sheet music for this so that you can visualize what I'm speaking about when I mention these certain things because the left hand is a lot more involved. So it is at lesson 20 at the free music lessons tab and it is again at dalemathisaccordion.com. So alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is take you in and just play the left hand just to give you an idea of what I'm speaking of here. So let's bring this down. Alright, so in this song, this is the left hand. Let's give it a little more volume. So, let's see, how do we begin this? So let's start with the right hand, then we'll get back to incorporating that left hand part. So you're going to start with your third finger on the G. You're going to do a thumb under. Little finger on E. Got an F sharp here. You've got eighth notes. Got double notes. Okay, so now let's try and put this whole thing together, and I'm going to explain as we're going along. So again, I certainly hope that you have the piece of sheet music so that as I speak about these different parts that you have some kind of a guide to figure out what I'm talking about. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so that's the first thing that's different. Is the piece is in several time signatures, and I'll explain that as we're going along. So the first time signature is 3/4 or waltz time, and instead of playing this, no, it's different for this piece to try and fit the sense of the piece of music. So You got to remember that this was written as a hymn in the 1700s, and so it was done as an orchestral piece and not set up really to be played on a piano accordion with stradella bass. So that first measure, it's bass, chord, bass, and then in the next measure, it's bass, chord, bass. Next measure, bass, chord, bass, bass, chord, and then together. Okay, so there's also some other tricky stuff. In the first measure, it's C bass and C chord. In the next measure, it's A minor, but on that third beat, it's an E. And then going back to A minor again. And then a D on the third beat, and then the next measure is G, and then G7 together, and then C, C bass, G, G bass, and now here we have a time signature change. And in most sheet music, easy accordion sheet music, you're going to see that it is written with 3/4 time going through the whole thing. But remembering that the original piece of music was done orchestral or for piano, and so you could have a whole different kind of left hand or accompaniment than what you can do on a stradella bass. So I just felt that it just felt more appropriate to play this left hand in 2/4 time, so 2 beats to the measure. So in that measure 7, it's, and that just feels right. And when I'm trying to present this to you in a play-by-ear manner, I hope that that comes across. Again, doing measure 7, 8, and 9. And then going into measure 10, it goes back to 3/4 time. And here's that E bass, A minor, with a D bass, and then emphasizing the G7 chord in the left hand for measure 13. And then measure 14. And here we go back again to 2/4 time in measure 16. And then in measure 22, we changed the chord to G chord. And then in measure 25, we go back to 3/4 time. And then in that measure with A minor, you're going to play a D bass for the third beat. And then that hold is a fermata, and you have a rest in the left hand. And that last line, where it goes from, let's see, in measure 31, 32, 33, and 34, it's C bass. And then you've got to jump up to the E minor. And that's a big jump, you got to, because you're going C, G, D, A, E minor. But the fortunate thing is that there is if you've got a newer accordion, the C bass and the E bass both have an indent, so you can feel for those. Oops, E minor, and then D minor, G7, and C bass. Okay, so I'm going to play this whole thing together again and try and go very slowly. So I'll give you 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Alright, so this is going to be a challenge piece, of course. It's much more difficult than anything else that I've presented. So it's something that you'll have to play the video over and over and over. And then I'm following this with a direct-to-camera recording so that you can hear it without my talkie-talkie. Okay, so I wish you good luck on this piece. Again, the piece of sheet music, free for download, is at dalemathisaccordion.com. It's under lesson 20 in the free lessons. Thanks so much for watching.